Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. That's why I'm still in bed, people. Me? I'm FayWhat? And I'm going to help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's going to be a fantastic week.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl, sunbeams, drag queens, L-word, is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl, pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton, is that girl, Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
Just looking at that intro there just made me all warm and fuzzy inside. I want to give a big shout out to the people that are in that video, right? Mr. Al Ferguson, Mr. Tony Lima, and the birthday boy himself, Mr. Sean Palacios, aka Kitty Meow, that celebrated their birthday last week. Just wanted to say thank you very much, and we love you. So, the FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we are live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand, baby. It's Monday, September 11th. 2023. It's time to kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed. You know who he is. He's hot. He's gorgeous. You know his name is Jamal. Our first segment is Gay Boys Sleep Late, and this morning I'm joined by my gay guy pal, model, spiritualist, wellness counselor, part of Queer Yoga Club Miami, and HIV activist with Impulse Group, who also sits on the Men of Color Advisory Board for Viv Healthcare. Walk sex siren in the house of gorgeous Gucci, Jamal L. Starks. You can find him on Instagram at @porcelain. Good morning, Jamal. Welcome to my bed, baby boy. How are you? How you been?
Lovely to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with you, mister.
Oh, what happened?
So, you know, it's South Florida and it's 95 degrees, but it feels like it's 103, and that's what it says, right, on the monitor of my phone. And so I have to carry around deodorant because your girl can stink after a while, right? And I'm using this Lumi stuff. You've probably seen the commercials for it, right? And like, so they say better sex, and you can put it in your ass. You can put it everywhere, right? And it's supposed to last like 72 hours.
Grab it, like,
do you?
Other places, yeah.
Oh my God!
It smells so good.
It does smell. It does smell good. It does smell good, but it's like $20 for a deodorant. But it's really good, right? But it says it's 72-hour protection, right? And I got to put that on twice a day because I'm a sweaty girl. Now, Mr. Jamal sits in bed and he's like, oh, I stink. Damn it. I forgot my deodorant. I should have reapplied. I go over to smell him. He don't stink. His funk smells like purple flowers. I don't know why purple, and I don't know which ones, okay? But I'm telling you, like, you don't stink.
And to me, I can smell my man scent. So I'm like, ugh.
Okay, as a lesbian, I say no to man scent, right? I say keep that shit away from me. It smells delicious. I want to put it in like a bottle and like sell it to you. I want to slap the FayWhat logo on it and go, would you like to smell like the FayWhat show? Here it is.
I'm going to make an incense or a candle, my scent.
What are you going to do, rub it on your armpit?
I don't know.
Do you smell like that everywhere, like down there too?
Yeah. Oh, I love it down there. Yeah, I love it when it's down there. When I come from the gym or yoga, I take it off and I'm just like...
What is that Molly Shannon, I think her name is, she used to go, and I get sweaty, and I just put my hands like this, and then I go.
But does her smell like me?
No, I stink right now. Like,
no, you don't.
No,
you don't.
All right, now that we've done all the smelling tests, do you smell at home? Trust.
Do you like your own scent? I think that tells if you really like.
But do you like your own scent?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Like my scent just tells me like, you stink.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm going to roll myself around this whole bed when you get out. Just so I can get the last smells of it. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to be talking about your stink the whole entire show. Let's start with First, Mercury Stardust releases her first book, Safe and Sound, a renter-friendly guide to home repair, which will be accompanied by a 52-city book tour. Just over 2 years ago, the self-proclaimed trans Handy Ma'am based in Madison, Wisconsin, works solely as a maintenance technician and burlesque performer, right? Because those two things go together. Spending most of her time in other people's homes. Today, she has more than 2.4 million TikTok users following her DIY home improvement content and can hardly leave the house without being recognized somewhere. We love this Handy Ma'am so much. What are we all talking about? What do you think?
Come to my house. Please. Please come to my house. I used to pay this guy like $60 and he would just
do everything.
I'd be like, I need my doorbell hung, I need my mailbox hung, I need my showers. Like, I would just pay him $60 and he'd do everything. And
That's amazing. Where is he now?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, he was only charging $60. He wasn't getting far, you know? But I mean, I love that she's getting this notoriety, that she's popular like that now, that her little DIY project, she's like, okay, no, I'm gonna share it with the masses. And I'm also, at the same time, she's sharing her trans experience, which is even more important.
And burlesque.
And burlesque.
Wow, that's interesting.
I don't know. Like maybe she can add like a power tool to the burlesque.
That's hot as well.
Or like, maybe she could do a project.
Handy Ma'am Burlesque.
Like some people would pay extra for that.
There's a lot of Dom energy going on.
Think about it. You feel
There's a lot of Dom energy. Like,
I would love that. Like come fix something for me.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Maybe she's like, I was about to say going to other people's home and like dom them with like, yeah.
You need this. You need this. You need this. This house is too pink. We got to do something about it. Probably what would happen at my house. Next, actor, author, and trailblazer Elliot Page has proudly shared how coming out as a trans man has changed everything in his life for the better. The 36-year-old Umbrella Academy star told the world that he was trans back in 2020 via an emotional Instagram post. In June this year, he published his first memoir, Page Boy, in which he details the highs and lows of his trans journey. Responding to a fan question about his favorite experiences of trans joy, Page said that his awesome group of trans friends brings him his happiest moments. Elliot Page loves his new life. What are we all talking about?
It's so amazing to go on this experience with Elliot. Like seeing the transition and going on this, because Elliot, you gotta fine. Like I was looking at those pictures. I was like, Elliot,
no, Elliot's cute.
You gotta fine.
Elliot is cute, and I think I like him more. I like his acting skills more now.
It's more versatile. It's more. There's even more depth.
Maybe because now he's his true authentic self, so he gets to maybe be free and release it all into his craft of being an actor.
Yeah, and play around with more nuances and things that he had never experienced before. That's kind of hot too.
Right. And I think the Umbrella Academy side piece. The Umbrella Academy is back, right? They're coming back hopefully after the writer's strike or something, or are they done?
I thought there's one more season.
There's one more season. Is this the last season? Because I thought last season was the last season.
It's like a Cher concert.
This is my last time.
This is my last tour. I promise.
But it's not.
No, but it's not.
Yeah,
no.
I thought last season was the last. But
side piece knows everything. So
side piece does know everything.
So if they're coming back, I mean, obviously there's a writer's strike. Get you a side piece. But there's a writer's strike, and that can also impede on when that's going to happen or what that's going to look like. But I
mean, did they finish the writing and the production?
I don't think so. Side piece, did they already get that started? No, right? They just knew that. They were just bringing. They had just
Umbrella Academy
agreed.
is one of my favorites.
Is it? Is it one of your favorite shows for real? What about it has you do
everything? The fantasy, the lore. I'm a fantasy bitch. The fantasy, all of that, all of the superpowers and the storyline. It just draws me in. It really draws me.
And kudos also to the people over at Umbrella Academy for being smart. Okay, I'm not giving you a kudos for being a good person or being inclusive or anything like that. Being smart, right? Because they put that transition into the storyline, right? And then Elliot Page was able to be himself on the show.
They did write it. Like everything about Umbrella Academy, I guess because you get to play with the fantasy storyline, you get to include people's experiences of other identities and things of that nature. So it just makes it brilliant, genius, and just and effortless without being like, this is a problematic show. Why they don't have no black people? Well, black people. Oh, why they don't have no...
I think they did it in a nice way, Jamal. Like last week I was talking to Cal about And Just Like That, right? And I think that they freaking forced that show to be inclusive.
Yeah.
For me, okay? You can feel however the F you want about it, right? To me, I think it's shoved down your throat. We're going to have a lot of black representation. We're going to have a trans little girl. We're going to have a non-binary, this. We're going to make more,
able body as well. Like I was watching and I was like, what is going on? Because I like And Just Like That. I like Sex and the City. I followed Sex and the City since I was
a kid.
A kid,
yes.
Yeah. And it gets on my freaking nerves, but I love the show, so it's like I have to watch this.
Like, exactly. I'm not going to stop watching it. Where my wife is always making fun of me, like, why do you hate this show? Why are we? I'm going to watch it until it stops.
I think because we grew up with it, and it's a part of.
It's a part of us.
Something about our generation.
And funny enough, that when it started, they had no black people. They had no queer representation. There was an episode where Carrie had said that she didn't believe in bisexuality. I mean, this is how not involved we were in Sex and the City. And then I think they come back, and I think they just do too much of it. And the reason I mention this is because when it comes to Elliot Page or when it comes to Umbrella Academy, they saw where they were, where they needed some more representation, but it didn't feel forced down your throat.
No, it felt effortless.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
It felt effortless.
Because
and they were teaching as well.
Because people beat me down about that and just like, why do you say that? They're being inclusive. It doesn't feel authentic.
Like the Shay character. I don't want to go down And Just Like That rabbit hole, but the Shay character has to wear me the F out. Like when I tell you wear me out, how many hats do you have to? I'm non-binary, I'm poly, I'm this, I'm that, and you don't get it. And I'm just like, cringe. You're scaring me, bitch, you're scaring me.
She almost squares the queer out of me. Like she almost squares the queer out of me, where I'm kind of like, I don't want to be in your group because you're too much, But
I've read a lot of reviews and articles and polls of like the audience, and she's the most hated character.
Oh, okay, so then
they. I'm sorry, they.
So we're not. So then we're not alone in that.
No.
And I used to love her on Grey's Anatomy. I loved her on Grey's Anatomy, and she was gay there as well.
See, I'm gonna have, and I have to finish it just like that. I stopped at like this season. I stopped at like episode. Well, it was when the
did Carrie get back with Aiden yet?
Oh shit. Okay, no, but she saw him. Okay. I saw her see him.
Okay.
And when I saw her see him, I was like, oh, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil anything else for you. But,
all right.
But
and I know Samantha comes back.
Yes.
Who is my favorite character, but also as a human, like the actor. Like.
Have you seen Glamorous? She's in this other show called Glamorous that I think you might enjoy.
You have it? Mm-hmm. Sex and the City like?
No, more life. Queer, non-binary type.
Sounds fun.
She works like in a company that's very high fashion, marketing, branding, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
You might like it. Look at it.
What
Glamorous. I don't know. How many streaming services do you have? I mean, I can't keep up anymore.
Okay,
I can't. We'll look it up. Next, the boxers versus briefs question is often a matter of taste and comfort, except perhaps when sperm count comes into play. So George Chavarro, a fertility researcher at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, told the New Yorker in 2018 that tight-fitting underwear reduces sperm production. For a long time, men were apathetic about their underwear, and then came the gym culture. Sean Cole, author of The Story of Men's Underwear, said that since the 80s, men have been in scenarios where they could take their clothes off in front of each other, and so began to think more about what they look like as they undressed. Twitter users recently got divided in their liking for boxers, briefs, and neither, or jockstraps. I say wear what the hell you want to wear, all right? What are we all talking about? I can't believe this is still a question, in the man community.
Is this still a question? Well, we know what I like. I don't give a fuck about sperm count.
Jamal has all the sperm count he needs.
I do.
He's good. I mean, he's got extra. If anybody needs, call him 954.
No, I really do. My ex called me a fire hose. That was my. I'm like, every time, every time, yes. And I'm like, yeah.
It's like the fireworks at the end of 4th of July. Like it has to. Yes, every time it should.
But for me, it's it's briefs, not briefs, thongs or jock straps now. I graduated. It used to be briefs.
Okay.
But
Never boxers, never.
well, yeah, I started off with boxers when I was young, but now they have to be like, if it's a partner, they have to be sexy boxers, like silky, nice, fitted.
Nice.
Yeah, or boxer.
Yeah, because
briefs.
you're always wearing like slim pants, so it would be hard for you to wear a boxer or like something that didn't
But I
fit
know
you
people
tight.
that do it.
Really?
It looks weird. Like when they take off their clothes, I'm like, wait, you have boxers under there? What are those? This is over. That's a turn off. No, like the story reported. Like,
Yeah.
Men.
Is it a turn off?
Yeah, like sexy underwear for me is like it. You have to look good in your underwear for me in order to take me there.
You know what was a turn off for me was a girl. I love boots on a girl, right? But white socks.
Oh, me too.
Like I would be all in it, all excited. I'm gonna zip that boot down. Yes, bitch. Oh, you're wearing a
White socks.
I can't. You didn't think that through.
And
I
not
can't.
those white socks.
I can't.
That,
No.
that come from Walmart. You know, that
Oh,
come
no, with the lines.
with the lines.
With the lines. Those were the ones. I mean, literally, my tongue was hard and it went floop. It was over. I said, get out of my house.
Not white socks.
Like she had borrowed her dad's socks to like go to the club that night. Like, what the hell?
And you have a boot.
You have boots. You lured me in with those boots. That's false advertising. A mess. In October 2022, Emma J. Weber waved a Progress Pride flag on the stage of the Miss Great Britain National Finals. That night, she made history as the first openly lesbian finalist of the prestigious UK pageant. And her recent big adventure was representing the UK at the Ms. World International Pageant. This year, the televised competition spreading across 5 nights from August 20th to the 24th took place in Miami, Florida. Weber led by example, showing the beauty of being one's true self. We need more lesbians like Weber. What are we all talking about?
We have more lesbians like Weber. You.
Me?
Yeah.
Am I? Really?
Yeah.
I
Proud lesbian.
I am a proud lesbian, but I'm not proud like that to go join a pageant or anything. Like
No,
those,
no,
like
no.
it's like pageants are just like they're cutthroat and they are hard, and you're putting yourself all vulnerable literally on a stage for others to decide where you are on the spectrum of numbers, you know?
Sounds like ballroom.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's you. And like you've been in that for years that you don't, do you think about the rest of that?
Before every time, like people think that you have nerves of steel, but it's like everything that I do, from healing to ballroom to queer yoga club to everything I do before I approach it, it's like there's a lot going
There's a lot.
on.
Do you do like a mantra or do you a prayer or something before you walk, when you walk, Siren? Anything?
Yeah. I'm the baddest motherfucker in here and everybody wants to fuck me. Whether I win or not,
But that's a great
you know
mantra.
what is going on. You see me. You see it.
Yes.
You see it, period. And I don't have to do anything extra, no extra spectacle. If I do, it's just an added bonus. It's a cherry on top. But when I walk on this stage, y'all are going to be like, okay, he looks good. He's sexy, period.
Period. And, you know, I've seen you walk, Siren, and like, you know, the judges are looking at you from the top of your head all the way to your toes.
Yeah, because I kind of like infuse that from the top of my head. When I'm getting ready, I'm like, as I do my hair, I'm like, bitch, that's the sexiest damn hair. Like all the way down to my toes, so that when I do walk into the venue, I keep that energy. And it's hard to keep that energy because you see other people, competition, you're like, woo, gorgeous. Yes. You're like, oh, do I, like that whole comparison. Do I measure up? Am I just keep that. I try to keep it as far away from me as possible. And once I do it, then I'm like, was it so bad? What was I stressing over?
Right.
But,
Look at me. I'm the shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, we're our biggest critic also, you know, so that's why I got to give it up to the lesbian for being, she's like, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm a bigger girl. I'm going to compete. I'm going to win this shit. I'm going to look flawless. I'm going to do
She
it,
looked
you know, and
good.
she looked amazing.
She looked good.
So you go, girl.
Yes.
And especially here in Miami, not the easiest place to Right? No. Finally, the Toronto International Film Festival is running right now. And this past Saturday, a movie premiered that had us all talking. It's called Lil Nas X, Long Live Montero, directed by Carlos Lopez and Zach Manuel. The film was shot over the course of 60 days during Lil Nas X's first ever global tour, which wrapped up in March. Lopez has previously directed 2018's Blind Spotting and the Oscar-nominated 2021 film Raya and the Last Dragon, as well as music videos for artists like Billie Eilish, Carly Rae Jepsen, and Katy Perry. The film is described as a remarkably intimate portrait of an artist on tour navigating identity, family, expectations, and acceptance, all while reflecting on his place within the legacy of Black queer performers. A documentary about Lil Nas X. Is it too soon? What are we all talking about?
No, it's not too soon. This is what's needed. Like, I can't wait to watch it.
Me too.
And to see, you know, his rise to superstardom, how he does navigate all of these spaces, being Black and queer, and from his perspective, being a Generation Xer, like, that is going to be very interesting for me, being an older millennial, even though I look like a Gen X.
It does.
Like, just to compare, just to see like the juxtaposition of like my life, his life, how we both navigate life, and him as a superstar. Like, that's just, there's so many layers. There's so many. Like, this is what's needed.
So many layers.
There's so many layers.
And it might show somebody that that doesn't have a queer friend, never been around somebody like Lil Nas X or someone, or been around someone like you or I. You know, who knows? I mean, I'm a documentary junkie, right? Like right now that there's no new shows being brought out because of the writer's strike and all that. Like, I can watch documentaries all day, every day. I love that behind the scenes nature of things, right? And like Jamal said, like, you're gonna, you know, you can cut things and you can edit things, you know what I mean? But like stuff like that, you really can't hide how you really are. Like, how do you treat your dancers? How do you treat the people who work for you? What happens when you're touring in between cities? Blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to see,
that
you know?
raw energy, that real energy, that authentic energy.
Like, maybe he's a complete douchebag and we don't know it. And that's how it's been presented to us, you know? Because right now, Lil Nas X can fart. Or, you know, he could, like, I want to make perfume of your armpit smell. He could do a perfume right now and people would buy it, you know? Everything that he does is like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You know? That's why I thought, is it too soon? But I agree, it's not, because it's his way to keep on educating more people.
Right. This is who I am, authentic. This is what I've done. This is what I go through. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And it only will provide more, creative power for him in order to see where he was later on down the line, an evolution, and we can see, like, it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
I think I remember, like, Madonna.
Madonna, that's what I was thinking
like forever
about.
ago, right?
What was, oh God.
Side piece, what was Madonna's documentary? Bedtime Stories or something? It was something like that.
I think so.
It was one of my
Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare. That was one of my favorites.
You watched that. That was one of my favorites too. And to see the dancers, to see the behind the scenes. You were a little Jamal.
And I watched it. And that's probably what opened the portal for
sure.
Because I was like, what is this?
Where do I belong? There's no one as pretty as me on this world. Oh, wait a minute. I want to be right there.
Yes, it just opened a whole portal for me. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna watch it for sure. We'll watch it. We'll bring it back to you. We'll bring you some news on that when it does come out. So the FayWhat show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ media companies in America, and Hotspots magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ+ experience for 37 years. And Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ+ news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ+ community. So Jay, it's the second week of September. Anything good happening? Are you leaving anywhere? What are you doing?
I am leaving next week to go see Beyonce.
Oh, where are you going to see the Renaissance tour?
So I'm planning on trying to go to Houston and then New Orleans.
To see them both?
Yeah. Because it's hometown and then it's where her people come from. Mm-hmm. So I know she's going to show out in both. And I just love New Orleans and the magic in the city and blah, blah,
and
blah.
And the beignets.
And you saw my... You saw my... I'm a foodie.
This sexy ass was in New Orleans. Sorry, Nolens, right? And all his posts were about food.
Yes. That's why I go.
And it was such beautiful food.
I go for food and fellowship because all my friends there are amazing people and I love them. And so that would just be the best.
That's amazing. You know, I mean, I wanted to see Beyonce when she was here in South Florida, but I couldn't afford the tickets. They were like $400. Oh no, the best part was there's listening tickets.
$150, $200.
So you could pay $200 to just listen to Beyonce.
Yeah,
I mean, at least they don't lie to you. They present it that way.
They present it
It's
that
a
way.
listening ticket, $224.
And the people were on TikTok taking TikToks, and they were like, "When you pay $200 to $300, but you're," and I'm like, "It did say
that.
Listening only."
It did say that.
And I was not. I was sitting there in my bed, and I had got my hair cut. I got fresh. My outfit was laid out. And I'm like, I know these ticket prices are going to go to like 100 too. They never did drop in Miami. Other cities they
have, and they have all these different apps. You folks probably know about them, right? Where you get last minute tickets to concerts and stuff like that. StubHub does it. A bunch of different places do it. And so in most cities, like Jay said, people would just wait to the last minute. You know, it never happened in Miami.
Nope.
It never dropped.
I know people who got turned away at when they went to the ticket sales thing, and they were like, "Is there anything under $200?" And they were like, "No." And people were walking away like, well, we tried, and I had literally $200 sitting on my dress. I was like, if I can find me a seat. And my friend said, I found some. $350. No, boo.
No.
We got bills.
No.
We live in one of the most expensive real estate in the country.
Seriously. No. And I'm sorry, but Beyonce has enough money.
No, she does.
But I love that you're able.
Her.
But how wonderful is it that you're able to go to another city, go with other friends, go with other family, and it boosts their economy as well. You know,
like New Orleans, like they take so much pride in their city, and I know there are going to be cheap ticket prices, and so I'm just like, I'd rather go support that.
I got you. Than Miami.
Yeah,
and all of you.
And y'all weren't good on mute.
Well, they said that it was the best city. Somebody said it was the best city. And so when I heard, do you folks know what this is talking about?
Atlanta.
So in Beyonce's song, right, there's a part where, the part of the lyric is mute. And in each city that she goes to, it's a mute challenge where it's like the whole stadium goes silent and to see how long the people can stay silent. And people have gotten into fights. People telling, she said, she's mute, and Miami stayed I don't know, a second.
They stayed for 2 seconds, but Atlanta was on mute until she came back. And she said Atlanta won. But
honey, she told Miami won too, so she lied.
We're waiting. I'm waiting on the Houston.
Let's see what happens in Nolens. Let's see what happens in
Houston.
And Houston.
That's where she's from.
I mean, Houston's also going to turn it off.
Houston gonna turn off.
I love you, Jamal. Thank you. You be careful. Oh, you send me pictures. I want to see.
You'll see videos and everything.
All right. Yay! I love you, Jay. I'll see you when you get back. Thank you, Jamal, for joining me in bed. And don't forget to follow him on Instagram at @porcelain, right? And like I always tell you, if you want a wonderful reading or you want to center yourself, right? Because the fourth quarter of the year is right around the corner. Go and reach out to Jamal. Get a reading from him. It will make your life so much better. You'll be able to know what direction you should be going in, right? Don't we all need that? Make that happen. So, did you know that the Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church right here in Fort Lauderdale? We're broadcasting their Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m. so excited about this next interview, okay? We are always trying to introduce you to interesting people that are so incredible a part of our LGBTQ plus community. Like this interview right here with the Executive Director of the Aqua Foundation for Women, Mateo Ventura Bruer. Good morning and welcome back to the FayWhat show. Today, I am joined by someone that I've been trying to get in bed forever. Okay, and not in a nasty, dirty way, all right? Okay, he is the Executive Director of the Aqua Foundation for Women, the state of Florida's only nonprofit organization dedicated to serving and supporting LGBTQ plus women. Mateo is a queer, non-binary, indigenous, Latina researcher and activist, and a whole lot more. Welcome to the FayWhat show, Mateo Bruer.
Thank you.
Should I say Ventura also?
Yeah.
It's Mateo Ventura Bruer, okay? I love that. What a great name. Like, that is a name of power. That is a name of presence. That is a name of beauty. Look at this beauty. Mateo, hi. Welcome, my friend. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy to have you finally here with us. How long have you been ED now over at Aqua?
About 6 months.
That's it.
I know.
Wow. It feels like longer,
Yeah.
right? I feel like I've been trying to get you in bed a while.
Yeah.
I know, that sounds awful. I'm sorry. Hubby, you know what I mean, right? We have a lot to unpack today, okay, if that's okay with you. You ready with me? All right, okay, so when I met Mateo, I was just like overtaken by just how his presence, his queerness, his love for our community, so like I initially said, Mateo is a queer, non-binary, indigenous, bisexual, Latina researcher and activist who loves his husband, his cats, and his new dog, all right? Let's unpack all of that, okay? Explain to me the Latina researcher part of that.
Yeah, so when I was doing my master's, I did an online at Arizona State, and it was focusing on, well, the degree is human rights and social justice. Mm-hmm. So within that, I really wanted to focus on the issues that were really important to me. And as I started, when I started that degree, I considered myself a queer woman. And as I was going through that process, ended it as a transgender person, also non-binary. And so throughout that, I really started noticing there's a lot of overlap between the transgender experience and being Latina or being a person of mixed race, as I am. And
what's your background?
So my mom is white and my dad is Mexican American. So there's a lot of that belonging nowhere, being neither here nor there, being both, being neither.
Being not enough of each.
Yeah. So I noticed, I started noticing that, and that thread started weaving its way through the papers I was writing and the research topics I was choosing. So I ended my master's with a final compendium really bringing all of that together, the overlap between those two identities.
Do you think that like while working on this master's and on this thesis was the time that you really knew that it was time to transition? Because that all happened around that same time?
Happened at this. I'm not sure which happened first, honestly, because I had been really involved, in learning, immersed in kind of queer spaces. Being bisexual, I knew that when I've known my whole life, but I really came to terms with that in my early 20s. And I also began questioning my gender at the same time. But then I was like, let's deal with one at a time.
Yeah.
Let's do one at a time.
Yeah.
So
seriously.
I dealt with the bisexual thing, and it still was with my husband, who we were together then. We didn't break up over that. We continued to be together because he was my person. I also happened to like women or like every person, any gender. But yeah, so I'm not really sure which happened first,
And does it matter? I mean, because I think that kind of helped you through it.
Yeah.
In essence. Your family, are they supportive?
Yeah.
You said that in a matter kind of like a thought, like, again, we're all learning, right?
Well, I mean, it definitely was a struggle. So it was something like, I think my family never really had to have that reckoning of like, I have a queer child, because I was always with a man. Mm-hmm. And even though when I came out to them that I was bi, they still were like, okay, well, I never brought a girl home, right? Mm-hmm. So they still never had that kind of like having to deal with that, I think, kind of really actually. So then when I was explaining, I'm non-binary, I think I probably want to transition medically, socially, et cetera, my mom was very kind of fearful at first and reacting in a very strong way, but she's become really my probably biggest advocate.
Really?
And surprisingly, I worked up the courage to come out to my grandma, who
her mother.
Yeah, but her birth mother.
Okay.
My mom's adopted. So we've always kind of been a little distant. She's very, very Catholic, very traditional. Like she gave up my mom because it was in the 60s. She was an unwed mother.
Unwed mom, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a different.
Latina, and she's the Mexican
No,
family side.
my mom is white.
Okay.
But yeah, so I finally came out to her, and she was just immediately started calling me Mateo. Immediately, like, sent, because she'd always address my things, Mrs. Zach Brewer, and I'm like. I mean, even before I didn't really like that. I didn't love that to begin with, but she's been, and then she sent me an article about the Pope, about Pope Francis, who I'm not Catholic anymore, but I love Pope Francis. I mean, I think he's doing.
Well, I mean, he's the first
good
Pope to
things.
really acknowledge us,
Yeah,
and say,
yeah.
I mean, hey, it's a sin, but all God's children are made in His light, and I mean. I personally, and maybe you agree with me there, I think that we're just happy with the crumbs that we're given. You know what I mean? We're so.
It's a move in the right direction.
It's a move.
And it's important for the millions of people who are Catholic out there in the world. That him saying that can have a big influence on how they treat us, the people in their lives.
No, it's true. It's true. I still take it as crumbs, but I mean, it's something.
Agreed.
I mean, again, it's something. I mean, before that was something that was not even talked about. We weren't even acknowledged in any way, shape, or form. So you're absolutely right. It is a step in the right direction. So Mateo, I want to talk about on Coming Out Day. Right. I think it was a couple of years ago. You put this post that like really touched me, and I kind of want to unpack it with you, if that's okay. We're doing a lot of unpacking. We should travel together, maybe. Except do you travel light? You look like you travel light. Can you travel like backpack around Europe in a freaking with a book bag?
Probably.
I hate you. I could never do that. All right, so here is how your post started. Okay, I knew I liked girls as long as I could remember, but I also knew I liked boys. At age 12, I told my best friend I thought I liked girls. She told me, "You like boys too much to be gay." It would take me another 10 years to figure out that you could be bi, and that's what I was. So basically, you always knew that you were bi, like you had just mentioned a couple minutes ago, right? And that was never anything that you had to even question or you doubted at all.
Well, I didn't get it though. Like I knew that I liked girls, and at the time I thought I was a girl, and I also knew that I liked boys, but I didn't know that.
That meant.
Yeah, I didn't know you could, it never like really occurred to me that I would want to date a girl. Like that didn't even seem like an option.
Yeah.
Or something I really thought about.
Yeah. All growing up, I knew I was bi. I loved both, I loved men, I loved women for different reasons and all that. And when I told my mom that, she just said I was greedy. And because I also
Jealous
knew,
much?
hey, right, spotlight stealer. No, I also knew a lot of girls that like it was during the time that it was like, oh, let's triple kiss, and everybody just thought it was like cool to be bi. You know what I mean? But I also knew that I felt it deeper.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like a fad kind of deal.
I think feminine friendships have always had a kind of a double-edged where they're allowed to be more affectionate, allowed to be, playful with your sexuality, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, for boys, that's not the same way. Like you're a little girl and they send you to the bathroom with another girl. Okay, you'll take her hand, make sure that you have a buddy system, blah blah blah. And it's not the same way for boys, Okay, next part of the post was around the same time I started questioning my gender, but I could only deal with one crisis at a time. So I put that on the back burner, not to be thought of again for another 7 years. One marriage and one baby later. You were married.
Still am.
Okay, so you got married as a woman? Okay, so dress, party, the whole entire nine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had blonde hair, and it was like curled, like Marilyn Monroe-esque. Yeah.
My God, okay, and at that moment, gender-wise, did you feel like you were getting married in the right gender?
I don't know.
Did it not matter? Was it a lot to unpack?
I don't know that it mattered. I mean, I kind of, when I was having those questions of my gender before we got married, and I was trying to figure it out, I remember trying to experiment with my clothing, with my presentation a little bit, I had short hair for most of our relationship. I've always had short hair. And then when I was trying that out, and I just didn't look, what is the word? I didn't look androgynous like I wanted. So I was like, well, I'm never going to achieve that. That was my thought process. So I was like, I'll just dive hard into the feminine aspect and just really try that.
Give it my all.
Yeah. And, that was also what I kind of grew up being told was acceptable, and what was prized for female children and young people is being beautiful, being smart, being desired, being attractive, all of those things were emphasized to us in the way we're socialized. So I was like, okay, I guess and I didn't really think about, like, I still don't really know how I like to dress. I'm getting better.
You're getting better at it, yeah.
All my stuff was just given to me, or my mom would be like, that looks good on you, okay, we're buying it.
And you took
And
her.
I just was like, okay.
You know better. All right, fine,
I guess
no
I'm wearing
problem.
this.
So, but you kind of just like went with it, you know, because again, like you said, your hubby was your person, so you got that set.
Yes.
That's not an issue, so to so to
Right.
speak. So I'm gonna give it my all, right? I'm gonna be the girliest, prettiest blonde girl ever, you know. But it wasn't enough. Now, during that time, was it when you had your child?
Yeah, so after a few years after we got married is when we had our daughter, and that I think was the most, I don't think I'd ever really felt dysphoric before. Like, I don't think I necessarily felt like a girl, but I didn't really necessarily feel not at home in my body per se. I mean, like as a little kid, when I learned what entails female estrogen-driven puberty, I was like, this sounds like it sucks. I don't want any part of that. But I mean, I don't know how much of that is because it kind of does. It just kind of does suck. But when I was pregnant, I was like, I hate this. This is so uncomfortable. I was very fortunate, medically perfect. Everything went really well as far as like, I did not have a traumatic experience, you know, how a lot of people do in our medical system. So it was really
That's a blessing,
good,
honey.
yeah, it was a really good experience, but I felt very uncomfortable, just deeply uncomfortable, and didn't really know why. And I think now in retrospect, that was why, because I was expecting to be like, oh, feminine, you know, whatever, motherly.
I have made this creature. Look at me.
Yeah,
you know?
and it wasn't like
and
that.
it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that postpartum didn't help either. You know, again, this is all these hormones being rushed out of you and into you and all of that. And then it's like, I feel like I think I'm gonna feel like the queen mother right now, and I don't.
Yeah.
You know? But okay, but I gotta expect that you and hubby were super excited to have made this beautiful baby, and you know.
It's just hard because she wouldn't sleep, and she still doesn't. She was up and
How old is she now?
5. Wow. She just started kindergarten last week.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's a whole other thing to unpack. Okay, let me finish the post and then we'll unpack that, okay? So 2020 was yet another crisis. I desperately needed to control my world and I could not. So I turned inward and rediscovered these truths and questions about myself. Now, everybody knows that 2020 was when the world ended, right? Was that why? Was that what pushed all these things up for you, or what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I had nothing. I was furloughed from my job. I was trying to trying to get into grad school, trying to get into different jobs, trying different things. And
With a 3-year-old, with a 2-year-old.
yeah, and we were all together in our little apartment, you know. So I started working out a lot more, and through my body changes, just from working out and trying, you know, had nothing else to work on. I guess I got a new relationship with my body, and that started remembering, like, bringing up those thoughts of, oh, I do like it better when it's less soft or less curvy or less, you know, whatever, and that brought up those additional thoughts.
And it was time to unpack them.
Yep.
And so was that when you decided to live your life as the male that you are?
Kind of. I mean, I still think I'm non-binary, but I wasn't quite sure how far into mask presenting I wanted to go.
Because
But-
your pronouns are he, they.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
right? So I'm not saying that wrong by presenting you as a he. Okay.
No. Because I like to go through the world, like, socially, like, when we're out and about, we're a family, we're 2 gay men with our child. Like, that's how I like to be seen.
Okay.
But when I feel like just about myself, I don't really feel like I have a gender. I'm just me.
Okay. And that's totally fine. How did you meet hubby?
We went to the same college in Montana.
Okay.
And that's where he's from. And we were we're both Spanish majors. And we went on a study abroad trip to Argentina with a group of kids, and we were friends. And now in retrospect, it's like, yeah, I was the only person always hanging out with the 3 guys, because there were only 3 guys on the trip and like 12 girls or whatever. And it was just the 4 of us always like going on adventures and stuff. But yeah, and then at the end of that trip, we went on just a solo trip because we wanted to go to this other place and had time. And then that's when our friendship kind of like evolved.
I love that. Do you both speak Spanish?
Yeah, but we could use more practice.
Do you speak Spanish in bed while having sex?
No.
Can you try to? For me? And just tell me that you did it?
Sure, just for you, Faye.
Come on. Your husband right now is probably like, that girl, why did I let you go do that? How did that conversation go with hubby when you said to him, look, you know, I love you. We've had this incredible relationship. You are my person, but this, I don't feel like this is who I am. I need to live and be my true authentic self as Mateo. Like, how did that conversation go with him?
It was easier for him than me. Like, it was more because he was like, when I worked up all this, I remember like when I was telling him I'm non-binary, like saying that, like I think I'm non-binary. I was working myself up. I was so nervous. And then I told him and he's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I was just like, you knew? You knew and you didn't tell me? He was like, well, I thought you knew that. So,
oh my God, isn't that the best though? Like when we come out to somebody and it's you always that person that you really love and you don't want to, you know, disrespect and you don't want to let down, right? And they always know, like they know. And then we're like, why didn't you tell me? You could have saved me some aggravation.
Exactly. And then when I was like thinking like, am I trans? And good. And he was like, you know, maybe if it's stressing you out this much, that might mean something. Like,
he's so cute. You're so blessed to have him. I mean, like it just, you know, I call my wife the puzzle piece, right? Like we just fit. Like she didn't complete me. I didn't complete her. We came together and made a power couple. But at moments when I need the right wording, she fucking knows them. You know what I mean? She just knows what to say. And, Mateo, I mean, you know, things are super scary right now. You know, we live in South Florida. We live in Florida. DeSantis is a demon. He's a horrible, satanic individual. Drag bans, banned books, Black history not being taught in schools, kids having to go to school and be dead name, teachers that are LGBTQ plus that can't even display a picture of their family because that's not okay, because don't say gay. I can go on, and this is something that you work with every single day, that we both work with every single day. Now, let's add on top of the shit sandwich, the fact that you're a dad.
Yeah.
You know, and your kid just started the school system here in South Florida. Mm-hmm. How does this all fall over you from your seat?
Yeah, it was definitely really scary it's still scary, but there are certain things that are, you know, give a little glimmer of hope. Like certain parts of those things being struck down or being on hold or paused or whatever. But like, yeah, there was a moment when they were trying to add in the language of the bill about trans kids not being able to access gender-affirming care, but also that trans parents might have their children taken from them, even if the kid is cis.
Yeah.
And like that, you know, I feel very fortunate that unlike a lot of people, if I desperately needed to, I could just put us on a plane and we could go to California and stay with my mom, you know?
Okay, so that's still an option for you.
Yeah, but nobody should have to
nobody should have to make that choice, of course.
It's the same thing people don't understand about people who leave their country or for whatever, their home for whatever reason. Nobody wants to leave their home.
Yeah.
They do it because there's a reason and there's something pushing them out of that place that they would rather change probably. So, I mean, it's super scary. I feel like we're very fortunate in the kind of bubble that we live in down here in Broward and certain parts of Miami. The two counties have been making so many strides and trying to be really deliberate to push back against and to kind of insulate us against what the governor is doing. And I feel very good about the school that we somehow lottery, you know, she got into a charter school, which is a Montessori and public and free and all this stuff, just like a dream come true.
Well, that's a blessing also.
Yeah. So it's hopefully a little bit, I hope there won't be any, no, I don't even want to, the Prager U thing, that is just,
it's not an easy statement. Yes,
it's infuriating.
Listen, Mateo, I've told, me and Al Ferguson, I constantly tell him on Queer News Tonight that I'm going down with the ship, right? I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter, right? But the reality is that if I had children, that statement would have to be different because I would be living for them, right? I would want them to have a better chance at things than I did as a queer kid, right? And we're like in this, we could be in the bubble. You could work, eat, play with only LGBTQ plus people down here. And that's a blessing, right? But then we go drive up to Disney and there's a whole big distance between down here and Disney that is Trump country. Yeah. And these laws and these rules and all these things get worse and worse and things get scarier and scarier, you know? You're the ED of freaking Aqua. You know, people look to you like for answers, right? And there's got to be moments that you don't have all the answers.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody has to make I would never begrudge anybody moving away for their safety or their security or their sense of mind or sense of peace.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. But as you said, not to martyr ourselves, but it's like we can't all leave, you know?
No.
We shouldn't have to leave.
No.
I'm not allowed to move us anymore. My husband and I have lived in like 8 different states and whatever.
But I'm done.
He's like, I'm done.
I don't want new friends.
Yeah, we finally got some. We have some. We've got like 4 friends now. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if it came to that, we would. And I remember when Trump was running for office, I was like, let's get our ducks in a row. Let's get everybody's passport. And when January 6th, that was terrifying.
That was
and I was
terrifying.
like so glad we already had all of our passports. And it was like, if we need to.
Yeah.
But that's such a.
I know. I know. It's like Mission Impossible kind of shit. Okay, grab your passports. We got to get out of here. But
that's ridiculous to think that.
It is ridiculous, honey. But all this shit is ridiculous, and that's where we're at. How did you feel when you saw Trump's mugshot? That cute little smirk of yours. Look at you.
I mean, it was funny. I think it's funny. I mean, what is that? Is that 4 now? So how many more? I wish he could get a taste of what Black and brown people in the United States go through when they go through the system. But it is still nice that he had to go do that. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think there's when people are that narcissistic and people have that much, I think that's the product of never experiencing consequences in your life.
Yeah.
So I just hope he will finally experience some.
I sure do. I'm still trying to understand how he can run for president. I just still don't understand.
Well, how can Governor DeSantis run for president and still be governor?
Yeah, there's that. I hate both of them.
Yeah.
I blame Trump for everything. I mean, he was the one who opened the door and gave everybody the pass, kind of like, oh, you're a racist? Okay, no, don't be you. You're okay. You hate trans? It's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're the worst of it, but there's decades of people paving the way for them.
No, you're absolutely right. But he gave people the okay, to do it out in the light, Mateo. You know what I mean? Platform. And on a huge platform, A
huge platform.
Are you on Twitter still? No. I left Twitter also. I can't stand Elon Musk. I just can't. I know queers with Teslas, and I tell them off constantly.
I know, I was gonna say my next door neighbor. Okay. They're not watching.
No, they're not. But it's like, come on, how could you? Let's talk about Aqua. So you're the first man executive director, right, over at Aqua, and has that been a barrier in any way for you? Was that a big deal to anyone?
I think it's a big deal to maybe some people.
Okay.
I think the fact that our dedication to transgender rights has been a little bit an issue to some people, which shouldn't be, because TransCon has been going on since 2014.
Yeah.
It's not new. It's not something that I decided to do, right? So, I mean, I think there's a little bit of like, oh, really? But I do think for some people who might have those kind of thoughts, trans men get a pass. It's like, well, they're men light, which is like,
but you're a mass presenting,
right? But some people still have that in their heads,
okay, yeah. He was born a girl, so it's okay. That's ridiculous, okay? But again, whatever makes people better people, okay?
Well, step by step. Well,
listen, we're all slowly learning. I mean, the amount of information that I have learned about the black and brown trans community in the last 3 years have been life changing for me, Mateo, and a lot of it has to do because of Aqua. So I say thank you to you for that. I know for me as a lesbian queer woman, when I was told, oh, here's Mateo, Ventura Bruer, he's the new ED of Aqua. I was like, what the F? I'm sorry, and I'll tell you, that's my first, it was like, wait a minute, it's Aqua Foundation for Women. What the F is a dude doing heading it? Okay? Again, it's not how I feel now, but it was my initial thought, and I'm allowed to have my initial thought, right? As someone that has followed Aqua since 2004, I was like, holy shit, what is going on? And I am happy to report that I am super happy with how you're leading this organization that I love, follow, and adore, and respect. And those women that are there are super inspiring all the time. One of the aims that I have is to unite the L and the T, because there should not be a divide there.
Right.
When I speak about women, it's women, period. And that includes queer women, lesbian women, trans women, right? If you identify as femme in any way, shape, or form, I consider you a woman. That's it.
Yes, that's how we feel as well.
And that is also your spot. That is what you make people feel in everything that you do. So thank you for that. You know, you're a great guy.
Thank you.
You really are. What was I going to say about, so let's talk about Aqua so Aqua's been around since 2004. And when I thought about Aqua, I always thought about Aqua Girl, you know, which was like the biggest lesbian weekend. I used to host the pool parties. If you had been to any of them back then, you probably saw my boob. It was a lot of flashing going on. Sorry, Alison Burgos, I love you. I know she would always go behind me and go, no boob flashing this time. And it would never get to that, you know. But Aqua, obviously, I learned years after it did a whole lot more. The scholarships that you folks do for queer women. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so we just every year for this academic year, we offer scholarships to LGBTQ women and non-binary and intersex transgender folks down here in South Florida accredited universities. Can be college, undergrad, or graduate school. We're really excited that we are offering twice as much this year as last year. So we've given out, over the course of our almost 20 years, we've given out almost $1 million.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and we have some really great returning scholars like Misty Alicia. We have Steph Frosh, and a bunch of some new ones as well. So we're really excited for that.
I love it. And Misty is just such an incredible human being. And, you know, again, a lot of my teaching and unlearning has been from her, you know. She's an incredible human. And I think I hosted one of your events a couple of years back, and she was one of the keynote speakers. And I think that she's going to be a speaker again. Let's talk about TransCon.
Yeah.
Okay, so TransCon, Connecting Community to Resources, a conference by and for trans non-binary folks, correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so that is going to be in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be at the Scott Galvin building in North Miami, right? Yeah. And I am actually going to be a part of it, which I'm like super humbled about. I can't wait, yay! Tell us about TransCon this year and how long it's been around and what's changed, etc.
Yeah, so this is the first year we're bringing it back since 2019. I know we did, I believe this will be our 10th instance. So between 2014 and 2019, they did it 9 times. It has historically been at Barry University. This year we're very, very fortunate and very excited to be at the Scott Galvin Community Center, which, as you know, is like a huge deal that a queer person has a building and he's still alive, and a building named after him.
He's not dead. He didn't have to die for the building.
He didn't have to die. He's one of the longest serving councilmen, elected officials. So we love Scott and their team. The team over there at North Miami has been super, super helpful. But yeah, so currently we have almost 200 people signed up. So super, super excited. It's going to be one-day event. We have 14 different workshops on a variety of topics covering kind of the intersection of trans and disabilities, trans and surviving sexual assault and domestic violence, youth and leadership focused ones as well. Our keynote speaker is going to be the beautiful Misty, and we have 2 panels of which you're going to moderate one of them, which we're really excited about. Chef Josie is going to moderate another one.
I love Chef
So we're super, super excited for the opportunity to bring so many community partners together. I think we have like 24 different organizations that are going to be tabling, so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be entertainment as well. We're going to end on like a lighter note after a whole day of, you know, getting into some heavy topics. We're going to end with a ice cream social and like a networking kind of opportunity. So,
ice cream. I love ice cream. So it's TransCon. It's going to be at the Scott Galvin building, like Mateo said. And the address to that is 1600 Northeast 126th Street in North Miami. Okay. You'll be like literally a couple blocks from my house.
And it's completely free.
It's completely free. It's September 9th, and you can go to aquafoundation.org, right, to RSVP for your tickets if you haven't already, okay? And you'll be able to see us there. And it's such a beautiful way to get educated, to also network with other folks in our community. And I mean, it's so important and so needed right now. I mean, like, seriously, you know? So let's go back to that post that I just loved, okay, when you posted on Coming Out Day, and you ended that post in such a beautiful way that I want to make sure that maybe someone out there needs to listen to those words as well, okay? So you ended that post saying, all of our journeys are different. There's no wrong way to be ourselves, and not all of us can or want to be out as soon as we realize. Our journey is our own. We owe nothing to anyone but ourselves. Does that still resonate with you today? Do you still feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, just hearing you read it out, I was like, I wrote that. Wow, sounds pretty good. Sounds nice. Yeah. I mean, there's so much pressure, I think, on people, and especially when, like, celebrities who are in the limelight. Every time a big name comes out, I think it's a win for our community, but we shouldn't be pressuring people. You know, people don't need to be sharing every little detail of their lives. When they're ready to, and if it's appropriate, they will.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't be forcing anybody out of the closet.
And wherever anybody's at on their journey should be okay.
Yeah.
You know, Eureka from We Are Here. Do you watch We're Here? Well, beautiful drag queens, whatever. And she had said she was non-binary. And then for a long time, she was non-binary, and then she decided to transition, and now she wants to be, a she. She wants those pronouns used. My point of that is that wherever she was, where she started her journey, she was okay. I feel that I'm non-binary right now. And I'm going to express that to you, and I'm going to share that with you. But she didn't have to, and then when she decided to transition to be the fully authentic woman that she feels she is, then we went along for her ride. And that's what we should do, is just be around for somebody's journey.
Yeah,
and support them in any way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that somebody needed to hear that out there. Mateo, anything that you want to tell to someone out there, a queer woman maybe out there wondering where they can go for support, or maybe somebody that is thinking, I want to transition and I don't know where to get the right support or the right answers, or, am I losing my mind or anything like that? What would you tell somebody like that is watching our show right now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Aqua Foundation has and continues to be a home for LGBTQ plus women here in South Florida. That is what we want to be. We want to provide resources, we provide grants, scholarships, and community. That's really what we want to focus on. So definitely follow our newsletter, social media, everything, to stay up to date with the different things we have. And then also to anybody who might be trans or might be questioning and not sure, we have a bunch of amazing organizations down here. I mean, Trans Social, Trans Inclusive Group, the Mackenzie Project. We have so many, and there's definitely a lot of opportunities to make friends. SunServe, I almost forgot, they have their body positive bash coming up next weekend that I'm going to go to. I went last year, and it was so much fun. So yeah, and definitely come to TransCon. You can allies are welcome. People who aren't sure, who aren't out, everybody is welcome, and we have to remain strong
and together for sure.
Yeah.
September 9th is TransCon. Get your tickets, RSVP. It is free, and you'll get to go and learn all these incredible things. It's all about the learning. It's all about the educating. It's all about the unlearning some of the shit that we were taught as kids, okay? And it's so important. It really is. So make sure that you follow Mateo on all social media, and also Aqua Foundation for Women. Mateo Ventura Bruer, ED of Aqua Foundation for Women. Make sure that you follow him on all social media, and also follow Aqua Foundation as well. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show. I adore you.
Love you too.
You're so sweet. And I get to talk about your cats. He has 3 cats and a dog. Okay, that's what queer people do. We pick up pets along the way. You should do the same. All right.
Yep, one for every state.
One for every state. 8?
No, but I was exaggerating.
You're gonna have to get 8. Now.
No, I don't.
You see,
I don't need 8.
Husband, you need 8.
Every time he goes to PetSmart, he's like, "Did you bring back a cat?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't."
Thank you for being on the FayWhat show.
Thank you for having me.
We will be right back. Finally this morning, I want to get our week started by telling you some things that are really important to me. We call it Fay What's on My Mind. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about sex. All right. Wow, I just sang. That was everybody. That was really bad. Anyway, okay. So everyone loves sex, right? And if you don't, you might want to consider having more. There are many great reasons for having sex, right? It lifts your mood, and it makes people less hateful. Okay. You can lose weight also. Okay, but what's on my mind is what you should eat to get those juices flowing and the mood just perfect. This is not about bottoming or topping and what you should eat before and all that, okay? I might cover that in the future sometime. This is just something else, all right? Like things that you should maybe plan to have at dinner right before a yummy night of sex, all right? How about oysters, okay? Oysters are delicious, and they're loaded with zinc, which helps your body make testosterone. And that's a hormone that plays a big role in your mood and sex drive. And I know many of you gay boys are taking extra testosterone. So here's a great way to get more, okay? So zinc may also help men make more sperm if you need more. Okay, and there's also zinc in oysters. So go on over to Bubbles and Pearls on Wilson Drive and have yourself some oysters. Pomegranates, okay? Pomegranates also help with sex drive and having great sexual health. Throughout history, this fruit has been known as a symbol of fertility and a sex enhancer. Turns out there's some truth to these tales. They say that drinking pomegranate juice can boost your mood, improve your blood flow, and raise your testosterone levels. Okay, those are all things that could turn up the heat into the boom, boom, boom. You know what else you can eat? Chocolate. Okay, it's no wonder that chocolate and romance go hand in hand. The sweet treat is linked with the release of serotonin, a hormone that encourages feelings of happiness and well-being. The mood boost that chocolate can bring may raise your sex drive too. And this indulgence also has lots of fantastic brain chemicals associated with lust and love. Popeye wasn't wrong. Spinach will also help you. This usually isn't thought of as a sexy vegetable, but it can rev up your sex drive in more ways than one. This leafy green is rich in magnesium, a mineral that can boost your testosterone again, boys. It also has iron, which can help with desire, arousal, orgasm, and sexual satisfaction, particularly in women, lesbians, okay? Have a spinach salad for lunch. Your woman won't be mad at it. Something else that you should be eating is watermelon. This juicy fruit serves up plenty of amino acids, okay? And your body turns it into arginine, another amino acid that helps relax your blood vessels, that can get the blood pumping in your sex organs in the same way that Viagra works to treat erectile dysfunction. Okay, so you should be having more of that. You know what else? Avocados. Avocados, oh, I love avocados. This creamy green fruit, okay, because avocados are a fruit, is packed with heart-healthy fats and fiber that can deliver lasting energy in the bedroom. Avocados also has the vitamin B6, which experts say can play a part to ease PMS symptoms like fatigue, bloating, and crankiness. Yeah, that happens sometimes. All of that might make it easier for women to get into the romantic mood as well, okay? Other foods to consider are maca, salmon, strawberries, even coffee and tea. So there you go. Some foods that can help with your sex health, all right? Don't say I never helped you, all right? Now you can push it real good. I was watching a lot of Salt and Pepper this weekend. I really missed them. That's what happened. Well, that's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. I gotta thank Jamal so much for being in bed with me. I love that kid. He is just so sweet and gorgeous and great. I also gotta say thank you to the amazing Mateo Ventura Bruer. He is just an incredible man, and what an incredible leader of the Aqua Foundation for Women. I gotta tell you, I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. And I gotta tell you that often it's hard for us girls. But if we believe that we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q+. We opened the show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore, and that girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ+ community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity. It's what makes us so strong. Until next Monday, world, at 9 a.m. sharp, or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I'm #thatgirl. Don't forget to follow me on all social media. I am on Facebook, I am on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and I am newly on Threads under FayWhat. So I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, #thatgirl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl, the girl of all I dream? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, #thatgirl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too? If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ plus media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.